Hi, I'm Karceno.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Karceno and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Welcome everybody on Karceno for Life and One Crack News in this joint collaboration, because we don't know what they're gonna pull next. They pulled my video down for no damn reason. I did it under the Fair Use Act, and all of these people came in because of what I was saying. Other people were allowed to do the same things, but myself, they wanted to come after me and do what it is that they do best. Conceal the truth. We were not attacking Kamala Harris or her campaign. We were non-biased. We gave the facts to every statement that she was getting. But you see why I don't do this? Now you see? This is why I don't do politics on my main page. Because when you talk factually, and if it's not in favor of the people who are running it, they come with the sabotage. That's exactly what they were doing when they came and clapped the live stream that we just did on this channel. That was a very informative live stream. I gave her credit on things that she was correct upon. And I pointed out things that were in error. Now, oh, people sending me messages saying that was a great live stream and that Big Meech is free. That's great news to hear. Oh, they cut somebody else off as well. Well, you see, Rudy, this is what's happening. This is the political game they're doing. Anybody that's not part of the agenda, they're going to come after them full swing. They should have never did that with me because I was a fair person. You don't want me to be a pissed person. Not during an election. Because then we're going to go into a whole different extreme. So if all y'all who missed everything that went on, we're going to put that on the Patreon. The last thing that we did, you're going to see why I got clapped on YouTube, but we got it. And we're going to put it on our Patreon. Just for y'all. I wasn't supporting her. I was giving her a fair shake. I was giving her a fair chance. Her team was getting a fair chance to deliver the facts. They're mad because of what I said about Barack Obama in that video. The liberals are pissed. All they are is some bunch of little 19, 20-year-old broke-ass interns who's sitting there working behind them, kissing ass to a bunch of corrupt, crooked people, hoping one day they'll be corrupt and crooked just like them. You people are lost. You're leading people down the wrong path, and the only people that you're going to be helping is yourself and your bank account. You're not doing anything for anybody in the world. And you think you really matter in the real walk of things? You don't. You don't control the people. And that's what your problem is. That's why you out here this whole week trying to do your pro-black campaign. So you want people to vote for you and misuse the black people and go back to your same politics of, oh, we're going to talk about crime reform bill. Oh, we're going to ban weed, make weed legal so you won't go to jail. Because what you want to do is dumb us down to something common that we all can relate to and say, oh, that's it. Weed's going to be legal. Not everybody black smoke weed. Not every black person go to jail. But they do want to know about that money, though. What are your feelings about reparations? Well, it needs to be studied. Studied? Hell, they had 30, 40 years to study it. Nobody needs you to study it. It needs to be studied. No, it don't need to be studied. They need to say how much. You don't need no damn study. You see, that's the politics, and that's that politician talk to get away from the subject and to pivot around it because they don't want to give you an answer. You see, they done pissed me off. And when you start messing with me in that way, then that's when it goes to another level. And I didn't want to do that. I tried to be fair. You came out and gave a claim that Donald Trump, the former president of the United States of America, Donald Trump, the former president of the United States of America, was involved with Project 2025. That was his project, his plan. He did not say this was his plan. The people around him decided to come up with a package or a plan and things that they put together to say, hey, you could use this. He never endorsed it. Yet, you stick it to him as if that's his plan. This is not, Project 2025 is not on his website as a plan. Not at all. Those are the facts. So why would you go on national television? Why would you go on syndicated radio and promote that man, that package belongs to him? They didn't like that I was critiquing everything she was saying and breaking down and giving a very full explanation to the things that she was speaking about. First-time homeowners, $25,000. That's going to be fine until it's time for the homeowners insurance and the taxes. The taxes are going to rise. Inflation's going to go up. Taxes are going to go up. Lack of supplies from homes. That's the private sector. So what is she going to do? She's going to approve a bill to use other replacements for those, which means you would have to change the codes. That's not going to be easy to do. You're never getting reparations, black folks. You're never getting it. They know they owe it. They know we should get it. It don't need to be studied. They didn't study when they gave the money to the Jewish people. The Holocaust was what, 20 years? They didn't hesitate. They gave them the money. The Asians got a Asian Hate Act over a weekend. They had a bad event at a health spa, then it was a worldwide Asian hate campaign. Since when? Black people hate Asians? When? We spend more money on Chinese food than anything in the world. We always in Chinatown. Hell, half of their businesses are in black communities. Every hood, every ghetto you go to, they got a damn Chinese place everywhere you turn. There's a Wing Hing. And every goddamn black ghetto neighborhood there is. And they don't live over there and they don't spend their money in the hood. They ain't sponsoring the little league teams. They ain't doing nothing. They just taking your money and going right out your neighborhood with it. But they get a bill. Then she spoke about world leaders. I called that out. America is the world leader, and we can do it all. We can do it all. This is why Obama has told your dumb ass, don't agree to stuff and saying you can do stuff that you can't do. Stay within the grounds of reality. We want to do all, but we can't. No, we can do all. No, you can't. That's what he's trying to tell you. Now, Kamala, listen. Gonna have to follow my lead on this. You got to shut the fuck up. You got to know when. You're going too far. And that's the problem. She got to know when to shut up. We can do it all. Okay, then do it. I'm all for it. So go ahead, give us reparations. All right? Give us some reparations. Go ahead and end homelessness in America. Give everybody jobs. And go and take care of the rest of the world. We can do it. It's a beautiful dream, ain't it? Exactly. Now, here's the thing. People who are basically in Chicago, Detroit, they seen the red lines that she talked about, the lack of jobs, schools, shutting down schools. And now you're bringing these migrants into the country, which they did not discuss at all. No migrants. No migrants get brought up. Bringing migrants into the country, and you're putting them in the abandoned schools that you closed down and said that, well, we couldn't afford to keep them there. You couldn't afford to pay the teachers to teach the kids, but we could send billions of dollars to Ukraine. We could send hundreds of millions of dollars to Israel. But we can't take care of our people who just lost their houses in a hurricane. So where does that make sense that we're the world's leader? That is a terrible statement to me. How are we the world's leader if we don't take care of our own? We ain't even take care of our own home. But we gonna go and help everybody else. What does that make sense? You know what everybody say? Take care of your home first before you start talking and trying to do anything else. That's like somebody trying to come in there, you talking with your woman, and he's like, hey, you're taking it too far, Frank. Frank be like, man, you and your wife going through a divorce. Take care of your house first before you come talking to me and my wife, my woman. Anybody would tell them that would say, look, who are you to tell me what I need to be doing and your situation ain't right? You get yourself right first before you go tell somebody else what to do. So, Kamala Harris, you got to get America right first before you start sending some money off to somebody else. That's all we saying. Now, she said, I got to earn y'all vote. Yeah, you're right. You have to earn the people's vote. And you're going to spend this whole week being pro-black, trying to answer all the black folks' questions. Black folks had 3 questions. One, where's our money? What you going to do when you get in there, and what you going to do for black folks? We don't care what you gonna do for everybody in the world. We care what you gonna do for us. See, they selected people to have come up there to speak. And that's fine. Because I understand it's, they got an agenda. It's an election to go through. They can't have anybody in there that's gonna ask some questions that's gonna rock the boat. I have gave Charlemagne credit for that video. I was like, man, I like the format he did, in the route they went. I said that. And they go ahead and clap my damn video, boy. Do you even know what you about to start? You think Candace Owens is bad. You don't want me going in on her. Of course, I told you she's on her pro-black tour. And they don't want people like me undoing what they just did on the doggone panel, which I don't think she really did that much, but at least she was willing to engage with the black community. Don't get no blacker than Detroit. But you had the black reverend come up there and ask a very irrelevant question about what she gonna do for the black church and will she join a black church. It's like, look, dog, just slide the collection plate. Slide the plate over there, okay? She already got a church. Yeah, this weather change is crazy. It go to 65, it dropped to 35, and you turn into a popsicle. Thanks, Eric. No, see, the Republicans don't really want you to vote, black people. That's where y'all wrong. They right about that. The Republicans try to suppress black people's votes and have been doing it for years because they don't want you to vote. They know that you are the sleeping giant. And since 1996, we started getting back into voting. And they were afraid because you could vote these people out of office. You could vote the mayors out of office. All of these people in here and all these minorities are really the majority, and you're the swing vote. Whoever controls that minority vote, that is enough to swing somebody right out of office. Because they're divided everywhere else. The white people are all divided. You got some that's Republican, some Democrats, so they like half and half. Now the blacks get in there and the Latinos, they come in there, they thought 50-50. Blacks, we ain't 50-50 on nothing. We come swinging, that vote go. Biden won because he had 90% of the black vote. That did it. And Biden had a lot of white women of all ages who turned away from Trump, who voted for Trump when he went against Hillary Clinton. Trump had a high number there, but those numbers started to dismally go down. And when Biden ran, the white women came out and supported him. Yeah, white women of a certain age voting for him. Kamala Harris is hurting in that department too. She's hurting in the department of white women. A lot of them are going over to Trump. Now, she's not marketing to them at all. And those numbers are low compared to when Joe was running. Now, you're going to say, well, she ain't white. Well, I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this much. She's got 78% of the black vote. That ain't good. They were looking at about a 85% or better for Kamala Harris. 85% or better for her in this election. That would mean she's going to win easy. She could be comfortable, but 78%, that's scarce. And the reason that it's at 78%, there's a lot of them are undecided. That's why Obama came out like, look, they're staying on the fence. Yes, blacks are staying on the fence because they see what I see. They don't like none of y'all, None of y'all are qualified to be president of the United States of America. Both of y'all, none of the candidates up there make you feel secure about selecting them or putting your vote to them. You feel stupid for voting for them. If I vote for Trump, what am I voting for? What am I getting? I voted for a rash person who just impulsively does things. Temperamental. He's like a WWE character. It's like, you'll be great in WrestleMania, but President of the United States of America? You don't remind me of a commander-in-chief. We had 4 years of this. I seen this show. No, I can't vote for that. Hell, he was in WrestleMania. with Vince McMahon shaving his hair. He knows how to talk to a crowd. All of his lines is basically what he was saying on that show. He's great theater, but a commander-in-chief, hell no. Now, Kamala Harris, you don't trust her because she doesn't answer anything. She avoids stuff and she talks in circles and think that's going to win everybody over. She think we're automatically going to vote for her because she says she's black and she cooks greens in the tub. I'm like, where this is not talking to us. So now she realizes that ain't working and now the numbers are low. Now she want to talk to us. Because she see, oh, damn, I might lose. Well, clear my schedule next week. I'm going to talk to my people. Get some fried chicken going on. So it becomes... Buddy, you're already on the plantation. He's like, Trump 2024, we're not going back to the plantation. Buddy, you are on the plantation already. They just expanded the walls. It's like you can run around as much as you want. Like, we free. We's a free. You free, go. You are still on the plantation, buddy. You can run around as much as you want. It's all the plantation. They don't have to put the chains on your neck no more. Yeah, all they got them factory jobs for you, right? Getting those t-shirts. Yeah, putting up the clothing in the warehouse and all that. You know what them clothing is? Cotton. You baling cotton. They paying you a wage now. Instead of staying in the slave quarters, they're making you pay your own rent to stay in their quarters that they own. They own them buildings. It was like, you free though. I own my house. Oh, you do? It's yours? Yeah. Okay, well then, don't pay taxes on it. And see what happens. They come take your house. But you own it though, right? But they can come take it. You don't pay your taxes, they come take it. So how could they take something you own? Do a video on Trump and fact check him and see what happens. Well, we were going to do the same thing when he sat down and did an interview. We were going to sit down and do the same thing with Trump. But we didn't even get to do that yet. See, this is why I do these videos, is to point out how people don't pay attention when things are going on, because we did not have a person that we're rooting for here at all. We're not rooting for either candidate. I don't know how many times I got to keep telling people that we're not rooting for him and we ain't rooting for her. My vote is for none of the above. None of the above has shown me anything about them talking about this is the way to go. Yes, Smash Ball. It's not really creatively illegal. We explain how to do that on our Patreon. It's what your boy Karceno does to this day. See, Ceno learned from rich people and he comes back and give the information to all you guys. I have the tax codes. Yeah, the actual tax codes, so you don't have to pay taxes. But that's a Patreon conversation. Yes, I went to class and learned from rich people. I didn't just go there to say I'm going to be hanging out with these 1/3 of the billionaires and not think like a billionaire. Well, LLC is just one form of doing things. That's a start, but there's different forms of methods of doing things. People have IRAs, and there are different kinds. There's a solo Roth IRA. There's a Roth IRA. There's a solo Roth IRA, and that's what you're going to really want to get involved in. And this is for people with money. And this is how people with money avoid paying large taxes and everything else. They have different type of trusts and financial property. They have a family trust plan. This is what we were talking about with Jay and Beyonce on the Patreon. It's a lot of different things. But if you learn about a solo Roth, and your bank is never going to tell you about it, not at all. They have special banks that will assist you in this matter. Yes, because see, in a solo Roth, these people, they work for you. You tell them what to do. They don't dictate to you. See, a financial advisor, what a financial advisor do, right? They get paid. They advise you, but you're at all the risk. Right? So they advise you to do something and you lose money. You still paying the advisor. You lose money on the deal. He don't lose any money. You at full risk. No, you hire somebody to be in charge and you're the boss. They can't do anything unless you direct them to. So you don't give anybody access to your money. They work for you and they can't get permission to do anything. They advise you what you got to do and then you can do it yourself. But that's a whole different conversation to have. How does Cino, and a lot of people laughed and said, Cino don't own his house. He's living in a white man's house. White man's house. You heard these people say this goofiness on here all the time because they don't understand business. And I've tried to teach them. So you just shake your hand on it and you look at it. And then I've had to explain it to them. I own the house, but I don't own the house. And they said, well, I don't understand what that is. I don't understand what you mean. Meaning, this house that I'm in is in a Roth business corporation. Okay? This whole house is incorporated as a business. So it's owned by the business. Okay, because it's basically a business operation. This entire home, and it is under a IRA corporational business. So I don't own the house. That means I can't get anything fixed in this house. If something breaks in this house, I cannot do it. I have to hire someone to do it. Meaning, like, I can't hire and pay somebody to come the plumber. I need to pay the plumber. I can't do that. What I do is pay a manager. It's like you own an apartment building, right? You have a manager that runs the other buildings. That's what I have. I have someone that manages the repairs. If anything go down, they come, they fix this, they fix that, they fix this, they fix everything else. And people think that the person that does that owns the place, because for some reason, I don't know why they did it, but online, they put that person name, the manager that I hire, as the owner, because I guess that's the only name they see on the list. And that's perfect. And this is why celebrities' names don't show up on their homes when you look them up. All that stuff is like off the records because they don't really own it. What they own, which I own, is the Roth itself. I own the corporation that owns the house and everything else in it. Does you understand how that works now? And you probably say, well, why would you go through all of those loopholes? Because it gives you a massive tax break. And this is how the rich get away from that. It's not about anonymity. It's about taxes. You don't have to pay taxes like that. You get a massive tax break. Now, I hope you guys understand it now. And it's all legal, and I have the tax codes to this. I've learned from the masters. I've learned from billionaires. I went to the seminar to learn how to structurally do these things. And I said, I'm going to come and do all this for free for y'all. I went, well, not really for free, but for really low money than what they actually charged just to tell you about it. Now, to learn this particulars, you have to join my Patreon, which is really cheap. Believe me, super cheap compared to what I actually had to go through. Oh, yeah. Now, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, Byron, I did talk about it. See, you're a Patreon member. You already know. I've already spoke on this. But like I said, I have the tax codes so that you will be able to look them up yourself, because your bank is not going to give you this information. You see that guy there? That's me on the tour. You see, Cino came there to get the information. Cino was there to do business, to handle business, to take care of business. Now, what she's talking about with the housing market and expanding her plans, and what she's talking about in actual relief, is a good thing to say when you're running for president of the United States of America. But what she did not engage into, what I felt she should have, is the education bill. But education is so vast and it's hard when you have striking teachers and everything else. So you can't run on education. But the Black people are really concerned about education as well, the well-being of their children. Now, one person asked a very good question. And that guy who came up there and who was asking about reparations, she focused on one part of his question and really didn't answer it at all. She said it needed to be studied, and she went right back to the housing and everything else that she just repeated earlier. But what was left out that the rest of the world should have got before they clipped me off, what the rest of the world should have heard is what he said prior to that, is that the Black community, is there going to be an investigation into why around the United States of America, the Black community seems to be the most damaged with lack of resources. Why are there lack of resources in these communities? Are you going to launch an investigation into finding that out? She didn't even answer it. She avoided that question like the plague. And that was very telling to me, because that is one of the major factors right there, the resources in the neighborhoods. And I can answer that question for that brother right now, because she's not going to answer that question. Why? Because it's not going to get her elected. They're not going to put resources in the neighborhood because you're living in what they call the killing fields. You're living in an area where it is low quality jobs, low quality health, and they don't care about you. So they're not going to put in a new facility, new volleyball stadium. They're not going to do any of these things in your community because you have not shown that you cared about your community. That's what they're going to tell you. Now, I went there to fight the city of Chicago to say, hey, we want to get this going right here. We started our own foundation. We linked up with Nate Jones Foundation, and we threw our own charity events. As everybody know, this is what we did. So it's not an act. We're actively involved, and we wasn't just doing this just to give stuff back. Every year, I'm giving thousands of kids supplies for school. Start off every start of the year, all these kids from East Chicago, Indiana to Springfield, Illinois, the hood over here in the city where I'm from, the Cabrini Greens, low end, all the kids getting brand new pens, paper, stuff the government is supposed to do. Karceno is doing it with help with y'all super chats, y'all cash apps. All of that stuff is going to charities. Documented, going to charities. Now, we've been doing the groundwork, and we wanted to build a computer center and recreational center in the neighborhood, in the low end, over there, so that these kids can have places to go, so they don't have to go and join gangs because there's nothing for them to do. So we wanted a computer center up. We're going to pay for the computers. The city has grant money that they're supposed to pay for this stuff. It's in the bill that they have to give a certain amount of dollars to this community. They have to. So where's the money going every year? So this grant money that's supposed to go and buy all these supplies that the government is supposed to be using and saying that they're allocating, we're like, well, we haven't gotten that money in years. Where's this money going? So when you start to track the money, then you figure out what the problem is. So, of course, we go to the alderman of your ward. You go to your ward, you go to your alderman and said, hey, alderman of this ward, we're trying to get a grant here. We got signatures. We have everything. We have the foundation. We're raising money. We're going to do our part. We want computers. We want a recreational center here, right over here, the computers and everything. Well, people could come in and steal the computers. What do you care? If somebody comes in and steal the computers, it's covered. It's insured. The government got it. It's coming from a grant. So what did you care if they come in and steal it? It ain't like we lost money. It's covered and it's insured. Plus, the place will be locked up and everything else. They will secure it. The computers will be there, even if they had to lock it down. But that's not even the point. The point was you're supposed to be spending the money because that's what the money is for. So they came up with a reason why they didn't give the money to the hood. And this is in the whole United States of America. Because when they send you those census reports, y'all don't fill them out. So they don't even register you as living in those areas anymore. That's the excuse. They say, well, they don't fill out the census report, so the money gets reallocated because it's not showing that we have a lot of people living in this area enough to meet the criteria for us to say it's a concern. So people are not filling out the citizenship thing. So the census report comes out, they're not filling it out. So that's why you're not getting the money in your community. That's the excuse why they're not doing it. So where's the money reallocated to? They don't know. They'll make something up. But now you know what's going on. So now you know what's going on, what's happening out there for real. They lie. Right, I didn't even mention the Saginaw stem. Well, they don't. At the end of the day, people are going to want to know what they're going to do for you. What are they going to do for you in the end? When it's all said and done, what are they going to do for you? Didn't I tell you? Election time now, you have to earn the people's votes. And you don't do it 21 days out from an election. You should have started off doing this in your campaign, was talking to the brothers and the sisters, going to the communities. But you assume that you already had the vote because you say you black. It worked for Joe. They don't understand it because they're not a part of it. They're not attached to anything real. See, when people are attached to something that's real, that's when the attitudes change. No. No, because I'm on the internet every day. And there are billions, almost $1 trillion are being made on the internet every day. And I'm listening to billionaires who were self-made billionaires. They were broke. They didn't inherit the money. They earned it. They had to create an avenue. And they came up poorer than you. They always are going to do. Hello? Eight o'clock in the morning? Well, you'll have to do 8 o'clock then. 8 o'clock. Let's do 8. Yeah, I have a meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. So, yeah, 8 o'clock in the morning. All right. All right, go. Now, Taj, here they come again. Here they come again. You see what's going on? You see what's happening here? Now, I'm not going through her history. I'm not going through that. I'm going off what she's talking about. She's running on right now. All her politics, everything that she stands on, her plans. So they got my audio messed up. They scrambling my audio right now. Okay. Well, they seem to have done something damaging to the chat rate and everything around it. So that's why I invited One Crack News and Karceno for Life channel to be here. Yeah, this is corruption at its finest. Mm-hmm. So let them know this is exactly what we're talking about right here. This is exactly why they underestimate the people of the internet. And they try to sabotage because they don't want you to actually speak on what you're saying, because what they're saying is, oh, it's disinformation. If it's disinformation, then let's sit down and have a discussion. If it's misinformation, then you'll be able to take the video down and say, oh, it's misinformation. Let's discuss the facts. There's always going to be problems and conflict when people are doing things that are shady or just, calculative, deceiving, conniving, all of those terms. I don't believe in anything that she's saying because she was the vice president for 4 years and we never saw her. She was a ghost. So what kind of president of the United States is she going to be? The invisible one. Weed and loans. I know. It's amazing that when they speak to the Black community, it's always about we're gonna free weed and crime form rebuild. I'm not going to prison. I don't think I'm facing prison time, and crime form rebuild does not fit me unless I, continuously talk about Kamala Harris before this election, and then they'll find a crime to throw on me. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Well, if we really wanted to dig into it, I didn't want to get into a mudslinging battle with Kamala Harris. That's not what I'm trying to do. I wanted to give a fair shake right down the line with everything she was saying and just going off of the comments she was making. But they didn't treat me fair when they purposely went ahead and took down my video because they thought this was probably damaging to her. Her team panicked and said, take that down. So Kamala Harris' team and Charlemagne and all of them together, whatever their group is, decided to clap that live stream I did. So they wanted to come after me. Okay. I didn't want to do this. This was not my call. But I keep telling them, don't get me mad. I'm the wrong one you want mad 21 days from an election. You don't want that. Because you're going to see how far the reach can go. And I get to the point where I don't care what you do. Now, if I get to that point of anger, then we really going all out. But you have to ask yourself a question. Why did she sit down and her team, you guys who was so quick to take my video down, you guys who work for Kamala Harris, who called up YouTube and had them just snatch down the live stream, I bring this question to you because I want to know. So I confront you with this question. Why did Kamala Harris sit down with Charlemagne, right, who took a lesser charge in an incident involving a minor who claimed she was R-worded? The police report said that she was. He said he didn't do it, but he provided the liquor for the party. Knowing, and he picked this girl up, according to this woman, and she claimed he was involved. This man is on tape bragging about using Spanish fly on his wife and other girls to get them basically in the mood so he can take advantage of them more easily. And the woman he's married to now, he thinks it's okay because he's married to the girl now. So he could tell that story. That's who she sat across, Charlemagne. She sat across from him and did this interview. He changed his whole shirt. He changed his whole jacket. And I wasn't even going here, y'all. I really wasn't. I was keeping this thing focused on the issues. I wasn't going here until they did what they did. So why would you sit down with them? Because your team don't vet anybody. They look at, oh, Charlemagne got all of these viewers. They got a lot of people that listen to the show, a bunch of young people. These are voters. Let's just go on this show. Didn't think about the moral concept, right? Then you go on another show. Did y'all forget that? Kamala Harris went on another show. See, she was getting this tour started early, but she went on a show And when she went on that show, a lot of people were scratching their head. Like, what the hell is she doing? It didn't look right. It didn't sit well with people. And it confused people. They sat there and they looked at it and they really were still kind of shocked at what they were looking at. They said, no, that can't be. Is that? I can't believe it. Is that truly Captain Jack and Kamala Harris on the show? She went on All the Smoke with Matt Barnes. Yeah, it was Matt Barnes and Captain Jack. I kid you not. Y'all think it's a joke. Most of y'all didn't even see it, but she did. And they acted like little boys. Retro KG, that is absolutely correct, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. You got Captain Jack, who got popular with the liberals because he's related to George Floyd, who he wasn't even really hanging around with Georgie at all. Georgie was doing drugs and everything else. He rode his brother's fame and written the whole script on his whole life. We all know about Captain Jack. Bringing a gun in the club, shooting up a club after the Piston brawl, got him moved around, did a whole bunch of crazy stuff outside, trying to be a goon, trying to prove to everybody he gangster. Matt Barnes, he just lost his job because he ran up on a 17-year-old kid in high school over a high school basketball game, cussing him out, threatening him. Then he doubles down on it, bragging about it on a show, on a podcast show. This is recent. He just lost 2 jobs. He spit on a man, okay? The father to his stepchildren or the children that he's living with, which is this guy's children. You spit in his face at a football game and loses your job at ESPN. You lost your Sacramento job threatening a child. All of this has happened within less than 2 years with Matt Barnes. And here it is. The vice president of the United States of America is sitting down with these 2 men. Matt Barnes, who allegedly beat a woman in a nightclub, almost choked her out to death, threatening women, hairdressers, everything. Matt Barnes has been a nuisance for years. Everybody knows about it. How does the vice president of the United States of America, who's running for president, sit down with these 2 men? Who is doing the vetting? And look at them. They sitting with their hands in their laps on their best behaviors. like good little boys. Mm-hmm. So you look at the character of the people she sit with. Where are the scholars? Why are you not sitting down with any of the black scholars, people who have degrees? That's what I'm saying. Is this the best that blacks have to offer? Black people of America, Captain Jack, Matt Barnes, who don't even identify himself really as black, they don't represent the black community. Okay? Charlemagne don't represent the black community. He does not. We don't look to them and say, these are our representatives. These are our heroes. No. Why don't you sit down with people that actually represent black people? Go to those communities. Like that brother that was speaking on the side, you should be at a town meeting with guys like him, guys who are actually got feet and boots on the ground in those communities. You need to be talking to them. You can let Charlemagne them in the room so they could talk about it on their Breakfast Club thing, but that thing needs to go down like that. Have everybody from every city, every ghetto in America. You go to Philly and find out who boots on the ground there, who doing the work. Be like, hey, you're going to be able to come ask the president questions. Now you're getting some progress done. Now it look like you're getting some work done. Now you got the people believing, okay, we got somebody that's rolling with us. We got somebody that's willing to work with us. And they at least listening to us for real. We didn't even go through her whole lineage. A lot of people have a lot of doubt when it comes to you. And it's like, oh, I'm fighting misinformation and disinformation. Well, that's true. And a lot of angles, you're going to be facing it. But you didn't do a lot to prove it. Now, I ain't meaning proving you're black. I mean proving that you actually care about blacks. Who are your best friends? None of them seem to be black. Only when it's election time, you got this black aide that work for you. Like those indentured servants you had when you were growing up, that your family had. But we won't get into all that. But I've seen your best friends. None of them were black. I'm just saying. Aren't you pro-black Kamala or Kamala? Yes, all her friends are white. White. White as snow. Right. We're seeing the most. This is the most we've seen of this woman in 4 years. I'm seeing her now than when she ran for president back 4 years ago. She didn't win. People forget she lost to Joe Biden. Nobody black was voting for her then, and she lost to Joe Biden because she didn't have the black vote. He had the black vote, and she didn't. So the black people were voting for the white man. They thought the white man was more blacker than you. So you try to do identity politics. That's where y'all messed up again by grabbing old black faces and throwing them out there and putting them out there and grabbing DL dumbass, bringing him out there, thinking black people gonna listen to him and follow him. I was wrong about Kamala Harris. Nobody listen to his corny ass, confused, dumb bastard. Nobody listen to him. Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion come out there twerking. Yep. I got Megan Thee Stallion. Everybody, so I got all the black people. Guess what? Megan Thee Stallion, she can't even sell no damn records. What you gonna do? Get Sexy Red and Glorilla next? You see, here's the thing. She's never really won an office. She's never won an election. She didn't run for vice president. She was elected vice president. DL is a punk and a coward. That's what he is. He doesn't stand for anything. He doesn't stand for anything. He's just pathetic. Well, I mean, it's easy. It's easy to dump on Trump. That is the easiest thing you could ever do is dump on Trump. How hard is that? He gives you a lot of material. You're not going to be wrong. Anything you say about Donald Trump, you're not going to be wrong. But the guy is so transparent when he talks because he speaks direct. He doesn't talk in circles. And that's what's hurting her, is that he don't give a damn. He's going to say what he feels because the American public is like that now. Everything is like a WWE to them. He simplifies it for them. He makes it really simple, and that's just that. Trump makes it very simple. Trump, you said grab her by the ussy. Yeah, that's just locker room talk. You know, it's just locker room talk. And people will say, yeah, man, that's just locker room talk. That's how people talk in the locker room. He didn't mean nothing by it. People are dumbed down. But he says things directly, whether it's so how far off it is, he speaks direct to the people and they respond because he speaks direct. So this is how people end up in situations that they don't like. They don't communicate. They don't tell anybody anything. It just gets crazier and crazier by the moment. Well, there's many things that's going on that people don't get. She just like this dude called Donda. The whole thing's a game. Kamala the chameleon. Okay, well, pretty much. It's like when you're young, everything is a policy, everything is a business, everything is an option, everything is so valuable, everything is exceptionally outstanding. Like you need every little thing matters and it's so important. But they use a little bit about politics and what the black people they think people want to hear, and then they go into fear politics. Now the Trump side, where they mess up is they talk no policies whatsoever. They just saying they're gonna do stuff for you. They never go into any details of the policy, and they use all fear politics. It's all about dumping on Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. So they don't really have too much to go off her. So they just attack Joe Biden because Joe is technically still in the White House. So Trump got all his insults for him, but for her, he really doesn't know too much. So he just, really keeps the focus going differently. Trump has no plans whatsoever. His only plan is I got to get in the White House so I could stop myself from going to jail. Because if I don't get elected, I'm going to jail. So I got to go all out. This is it. It's all out or nothing. Because if he gets the president of the United States of America, Fannie Willis is getting fired immediately. His first notion or first thing in command is to recuse himself, saying, I'm the president of the United States. I cannot be on this case or be tried. So the second thing is, we're getting a new person down there to run. She's fired. So she's going to get terminated immediately. So everything is tingent on what's going on here. Well, it was clear they didn't want him on the ballot. Now, all of this, the shooting incident thing, I don't even want to go into that. But people like the Democrats set that up. I don't think so. I really doubt that because, one, there's no report saying that Trump was even shot, even though he keeps claiming he was shot. We have not seen a doctor's report to confirm he was shot. And what was the operation that they claim they did? And how does his ear look like nothing ever happened? So your ear looks like nothing ever happened, but it's like, oh, he had plastic surgery come in. I'm like, well, anybody gets shot in the ear, you can have 1,000 plastic surgeons. It ain't going to look like that. What's a good one, Terrell? Terrell said that's a good one. I'll be like, well, what's a good one? Fact check Trump. Shoot, I'll be here for 6 years. Everything that comes out of his mouth is going to be crazy. Trump be. We have all the schools. We've fed all the schools. We fed everybody. Everybody's got something to eat. We fed everybody. We gave them all. What do we give them? Books. We gave them the tour. We gave them everything. It'd be like, well, we selected 12 kids and gave them a book bag and a Trump pair of shoes. Right? We gave him some Trump shoes. Oh God! But no, it wasn't 12. I think everybody got it. Everybody didn't get it. Well, it's like damned if you do, damn what you don't. The greater of less evils. You know, they doing the same act. Like, well, who are you gonna vote for? It's the lesser of two evils. And I'm just like, my goodness, we can't get anybody to run that's credible. Yeah, I know, scary, ain't it? Yeah, it's crazy what they do and how they're moving. So now we're gonna be on One Crack News as Karceno for life is gonna take the break.